Hello, Seeking Sister Wives fans. Let's talk about episode number 9. Okay, who do we talk about first? Let's start off with the Mirrorfields. This is Garrick and Lorena and Danielle, or Danny. So they are still at the courthouse. Out comes Lorena and Garrick. They're laughing and singing and happy, and they're now officially married. Okay. Danielle's outside and she's all excited for them. Like she was crying earlier, but now it's like the best thing that ever happened. Bizarre. They go to a restaurant to celebrate. And of course, the waiter says, "What are we celebrating here?" Garrick says, "A wedding." And the waiter on cue says, "Which one is your wife?" The setups are getting so obvious on TLC. I don't, they're going to lose viewership. They really are. Can we just have people sit on a couch and talk about stuff? I'm way more interested in that than these fabricated scenes. It's stupid. And there's nothing else to say about it. There you go. That was the end of that scene. We have one more scene covering this family, and that is Samantha and Danny go out to eat. So Danny is sharing with Samantha about her struggles a little bit with this polygamy thing. 6 years, people. 6 years they have been trying to get somebody to marry and sleep with Garrick. Okay, not sleep with. He slept with all of them. 6 years they've been trying to get somebody to marry Garrick. It now happened. And yes, now we have to suffer through a scene. This is so Robin Brown. We have to suffer through a scene of listening to her complain. How is things going to go in the future? And what does everything look like? And we want to seek another wife, but how's that going to look? And Lorena can't divorce for 2 years because she can't get citizenship for 2 years. And so therefore she can't divorce Garrick. So can they get another sister wife? Danielle, you just want to shake the girl and go, you don't even want one. You don't want her there. You don't want someone sleeping with your man. And we're already talking about somebody else. But listen, we said in previous seasons that we really believe that Danny really pushes for the next sister wife to come because the new one isn't going to like it. And we have seen that pattern come true. As soon as she starts pushing Garrick to find another woman and he starts expressing an interest and start looking for another sister wife, the new one they just brought in freaks out. She's fine with the one that's been there the whole time and is established, but she doesn't want a new, young, fun thing to come into the family and upstage her. And I think that's what Danny's doing here again. I mean, this is a tough one because they're married, but at least she can create dissension so she can be the favorite wife. Because we know in the sister wife realm that it's important to be the top wife, the favored one, the most important one. It's the worst thing that could possibly happen, but this is how it's set up. Sad but true. Samantha comes out and asks Danny, "Is this really something that you want?" And Danny's like, "This is something that God wants for me."
No, he doesn't.
So yes. And she's like, "Oh, okay. I'm not going to argue with God, I guess." I'm like, Danny, it's not what God wants from you. Wake up. Can you hear me? God does not want this for you. Garrick wants it. Garrick said God told him to tell you. Why is that chain of command happening? How come you're not able to talk to God? Because God is not telling you to do polygamy. Just saying. Moving on to the next family, the Davis family. The first scene we have with the Davis family is just Teresa and Teresa's friend Brandon. And they go to a pool house to shoot some pool and discuss Teresa's life. Brandon said he heard that there's dissension in the family there and things are not going really well with Teresa and them. He wanted to get more information. Teresa comes out and admits, "I'm needy. I've had traumas in my past. I don't believe I deserve love. I don't believe anyone's loved me like Nick. And it's not right that I should be receiving that from him. Yet I will just break down and be devastated if I ever leave him or if he has to leave me. I absolutely want to stay here." Like she is just, she has the emotional maturity of a very, very tiny child, and she needs a lot of therapy. A lot of therapy. This girl needs help. She doesn't need to be seeking out a relationship with Nick or anybody else, but certainly not a complicated one like a polygamous one. She needs to go. She needs to go, heal, figure herself out. So then there's a scene where they're all in the family and they're kind of talking about in the talking head interviews how things aren't going great and she needs a lot of encouragement, and they're trying to give her as much support as possible and tell her to hang in there, and she's great and she's beautiful and she's wonderful and she's part of the family, but she just doesn't believe it. And I'm like, well, then why are you there? Like, oh. So they say they never get anywhere in conversations because she just leaves. She always leaves. She can't deal with it. Well, and then we see a scene that exact thing played out. Nick says, listen, we need to really talk about how things are kind of difficult here, and we really need to figure out how this is going to go, because it's really not going to work if you're not confronting issues. And she's like, I just can't deal with this right now. I need to get up and go. I'm going to go for a drive. So as he's talking to her about how she can't confront issues and she keeps leaving, she gets up and she doesn't confront the issue and she leaves. There you go. And that's the Davis family. I do believe that the next episode, we will see them officially announce she is not part of the family anymore. Time will tell. The next family, Reese and Billy Jean. So this picks up where it left off, and that is Reese on his date with the girl that he was on a date with last time. There you go. If you watch my last video, you'll know her name. So they're laughing and having a good time. He texts Billy Jean. He says, come on over. My date wants to meet you. She does. She comes in. She seems like it's a little bit awkward, but there's hugs and smiles all around. And they start talking and they're laughing and joking around. And it seems like everybody's getting along. And then Reese makes a little joke. I don't even remember what he said exactly. It was something about his D. Oh, I know. The date said to Billie Jean, hey, tell me all the tea. I want to know all about the tea. And she's like, okay, you want to know about the tea? And then Reese, trying to be funny, not really funny, says, or tell her about the D. Billie Jean instantly goes from laughy, smiley Billie Jean to she was not happy with him. She shot him a look. We saw a whole different side of Billie Jean in that split moment. And the date caught it too. There were a couple times in there where Billie Jean just kind of like stopped. All of a sudden, she's like, I am not laughing anymore. And then she'll pick back up and join in again. So the date's like, I don't know. Billie Jean says she's into it and she says this is her idea. However, her actions are kind of showing that she's feeling mixed about it. I'm very concerned about jealousy.
Understandable.
The date does say that she is not sure if Billie Jean is really having fun with her being there. So we'll see how that goes. Well, we come back again later on in the episode. So they're outside on their property and Reese is collecting eggs and dealing with the chickens while Billie Jean is on her hands and knees, changing the oil and fixing the lawnmower. In their talking head interview, they actually joke about it. Well, they sort of joke about it. One person jokes about it. Okay. So Reese jokes around and says, Billie Jean really does all the manly chores around our place. And so he's doing a dig at himself, right? He's putting down his own personal manhood and capabilities and really complimenting her, but it's a little bit of a backhanded compliment. Nevertheless, he says, she's the one that does all the real manly tasks that are around, and I just kind of do the rest of the stuff. She is not cracking a smile. She's not happy with this. But then she chimes in and says, yes, he does all the other stuff, or he tries to, because like his honey-do list is honey never done, because he doesn't really do anything. And she's like laughing. And Reese is laughing because he's laughing along as you would have thought she would have been laughing along before. But it appears to me that Billie Jean is very comfortable with putting Reese down and making fun of Reese and making fun of the dynamic in their relationship, calling him vanilla in bed, saying he just lays her, makes her do all the work. She is not very complimentary of him, and she does put him down. Whereas when Reese tries to throw another dig back at her, she's not receiving them well. So I'm starting to get a different vibe and feel from Billie Jean. I'm not so sure, because I'm starting to get the sense that she is really interested on the show to just sort of show Reese in the light of, look at this incompetent man that I have to deal with. And look at this craziness. Like, I think the whole dating thing was, oh, he's going to go on date after date after date after date and just fail at all of them. And that she would find that funny, that he was so unsuccessful in love. However, by date number 2, when he hit it out of the park, she doesn't know what to do with herself. Now she's like, this is not part of the plan. And she's like, are you starting to have feelings for her? And he's like, well, if I'm honest, I kind of am. Well, she's probably nice to him. I mean, she probably doesn't put him down all the time. Like, I don't know. This is on television. So I would think in the privacy of their home, maybe he gets a lot of insulting comments from her and how he's not manly and how he's incompetent, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. But Billie Jean needs to do some reflection if she wants him to still be into her. Now, she does get vulnerable and say, I'm worried that you're going to leave me, that you're now going to fall in love with somebody else and fall out of love with me, which is a sort of maddening to listen to because this is 100% Billie Jean's idea. He didn't even want to do this. So she's really setting him up for failure in this situation because she didn't think he was going to succeed whatsoever. And now that he does, she's scolding him for being successful in what she told him to do. It's a no-win for Reese in this case. No win whatsoever. The conspiracy theory that the women in the live chat came up with is that this entire thing is all acting. They have been actors their entire life. All their friends, they announce, are actors. The lesbian couple that had the baby and said they were willing to carry another baby for her, they knew them from theater. The two gals that she was with in the garden center, the one that was doing the matching for them, that happened to be the matchmaker person, she knows her from theater from high school. These are all friends from high school that were all in acting and theater together.
I'm following.
So we're thinking possibly this is a group of between, 5 and 6 friends that got together and said, wouldn't it be a hoot if we all got on television? Here's the roles we're going to play. We're going to have the two of you pretend like you're husband and wife. That will be hysterical. It's a complete conspiracy theory. I have nothing to prove it. I would think TLC did their due diligence and found out if these two were really married and if those 2 kids were really theirs too. Oh, right. The 2 twins somebody said were child actors. All right. If you're not with us on the live, you should be going on the live stream and participating in the live chat. Okay. So that's it for them. But I do have to say it was very funny at the very end. Billie Jean is jealous. He reassures her, says he's never going to leave her. And then when he talks about he's been on a few dates with this new gal, and now Billie Jean said, I would like to be on the dates with you guys every now and then. So I guess it's just been the 2 of them going on the dates. But he reassured everybody that the 2 of them have not been intimate. Yes, I did say intimate. Guess he's not into mints. I don't know. But I thought it was very funny that even the word intimate to Reese gets turned into a candy. It's a mint. Intimate. All right, moving on. We have the Davis family. We have the BJ family. Okay. All right, the very last family that we covered in this episode, Matt, Angelica, and Shanae. So we saw at the end of last episode that the train dinner thing did not end well. Shanae said, I don't think I can do this with the 2 of you anymore. So she essentially broke up with them. Well, they didn't come back and make it work. He just came home. So it's over. He walks in the door and he shares with Angelica that it's over. She is not as devastated as we thought she would be, but everybody thinks that Shanae texted her and she had a heads up and she already worked through it before he ever got home, which is very likely. The funny thing about all the scenes with Matt, he mumbles so much when he talks. And that was, he mumbles so much when he talks. I should put subtitles under me. Anytime Matt talks, TLC has subtitles, like he's speaking another language. You cannot understand what this man says. He barely speaks, but when he does, he just kind of talks like that. He barely moves his mouth. You can't hear what he's saying. Somehow Angelica has no problem. She responds to him all the time. But TLC knows nobody else is going to know a word he's saying. So they subtitle everything he says. All right. Well, they reiterate the fact that it's been 3 years that they invested in this. And Angelica's like, well, what do we do now? And he's like, I don't know what we do now. I guess we seek another sister wife. We find somebody else for me to sleep with so you can have a friend. I think he's so incredibly controlling because she said Angelica said Shanae was her one true friend. She had no other friend. She has no other support system. The reason why they want to do polygamy is because she doesn't have a support system. My question is, why does Angelica not have a support system? Apparently, we find out she's got a mom. She's got a couple aunties. She's got a cousin. She's got a sister. Why are they not her support system? But they're not. Okay, not all families get along. Maybe she's the black sheep of the family, and so she's got nobody. But Interestingly, we find out that Angelica has shared with her sister about her situation with Shanae for the past 3 years. Now, the sister's not in support of it whatsoever, but the sister is keeping her lips shut. Nobody else in Angelica's family knows about this. Next episode, she's going to go home because now that Shanae's no longer in her life, she's decided, I need to have my support system. So I'm going to go tell my family, who I've been estranged from for the past 3 years, of why we're not really sure, but they're not talking or getting along. I'm going to go tell them that I have been in a polygamous relationship for the past 3 years. My husband and I have been dating another woman, and see how that goes to win them back. You don't have to say anything. Life goes on. Whatever caused the rift between you guys, that's what you work through. And then you just go on, because you're not in a polygamous relationship right now. And you don't need another one if you have a support system of your family. I think Matt has been keeping her away. I think he's been telling her things like, you can't tell them anything about this because you know how close-minded your mom is and your aunties. Like, you can't tell anybody anything about this. In fact, it's best if you just don't even see them, because he knows they're going to tell her. That's insane, because it is insane. But I'm very thrilled to see that Angelica is actually going to go visit them. Now, I hope they don't, like, we see the previews of how they're going to react, and they're practically falling out of their chair, and I'm here for it. Like, I'm dying. It's such good TV. They are so funny, these women. Their reaction to this is like, what? It's so good. It's must-see TV. Everybody has to watch it next Monday night. But I'm afraid it's going to be a little too much for them, and Angelica's not going to have the proper words to explain it, and then she's going to feel like they're not supporting her, and then she's going to leave and say, yep, I'm going to go another 3 years of not talking to my family, and I'm going to have my husband sleep with another woman that I will then call my friend. Because Matt's already said, let's find you don't have a support system, so let's go find another sister wife. I think he is the biggest manipulator in the world. Mr. Controlling, that's who he is. He is Mr. Controlling. But I cannot wait until next Monday night and see Angelica's mom and her aunties react to the news. It's going to be so good. All right, that's all we have for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Join us on this channel Monday nights at 9 p.m. while we watch it live together, and the chat goes on and discusses it. It's not a very large chat either, so you'll be able to participate and have conversations back and forth with people. I hope you do join. Have a great week. Take care. Adios. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.